Okay, so we're going to go ahead and keep going with our second font in the family, and that's called sans serif. So before I tell you the fonts, the first thing I want to tell you under description is sans means without.
Well, it doesn't have those lines.
Right, so these fonts are not going to have the lines at the end of their characters. Two examples of that are Arial and Verdana. So what we're going to say in the description is that there are no lines at the ends of some of the characters. So I'm going to move this up, but then I'm going to slide the whole page down. For a second, I'm going to scroll this down. Here is Arial, the Arial font. So this is from the sans serif family. Here's Arial, and you can see if I zoom in on the letters, there are no lines at the end of these characters. I'm going to go down to Verdana, which is another example. So clearly you can see that they're not there. Does everybody see it? I hope so. Okay, and now we have the last one called monospace. Examples of monospace are the fonts Courier, New, or Lucida Console. Those are probably the most well-known monospace fonts. And so this font family, it's like completely different than the other two. This font is characterized by characters that are all the same width. And this is probably something you never noticed before if you used these fonts and never paid attention to. It's kind of weird. Characters that are all the same width. So just like before, I'm going to pull the camera down, and here's Courier New. Now, sometimes when we look at these fonts, it'll have the little lines, but I'll find other fonts that don't. But if you look at each letter, even the I, this is the big giveaway. This I is just as wide as this H. This I is just as wide as this F. So all the letters are the same width. Isn't that weird? Now I'm going to scroll down to Verdana. So Console has the little lines on the end, and Lucida Console does not. But they're still in the monospace family because the family is characterized that all the letters have the same width. So kind of weird, but it's cool. Now, how do we get that working is the next question. So I'm going to go back to my camera. We'll finish up these notes and then we'll give it a try. So, the format. What is the format? It's probably the most complicated thing we've done so far in terms of styling. All right. So I'm going to draw a little line. So the format for specifying a font family. It's always the same. We say font family, that's our property. And then the colon, so that's our property, and you saw that listed in CSS. And the value is way more complicated. It requires three things. It requires two fonts from the family, followed by the family name. So we're going to go ahead and start with the monospace. So I'm going to say Courier New, that's my first font. And then I use a comma. Then I pick a second font from the family, Lucida Console, then a comma, and then the name of the family, monospace. And if we're doing this in internal or external styling, we would put in the semicolon. So this whole thing from here to here is considered the value. But within there, this is going to be our first font choice. The second one will be our second font choice. And then the third item is the font family name. Now there's a reason we have to do this. Every browser has pre-selected fonts from every family. So Internet Explorer may not have Courier New for monospace, but it may have Lucida Console. So if we were specifying this in Internet Explorer, first it would try this one. If it's not available, then it will try the second one. And if it's found, it'll use it. If it doesn't find the first one and it doesn't find the second one, it'll select anything that's available from that family, even if it's not listed, but it'll find something, okay? So it is kind of cool the way it all works, and every browser is different. Like Safari and Chrome and Mozilla, they all might have different fonts picked out, but as long as you specify it, it'll work. It'll find something that is from the family that has the characteristics that you're looking for. So we're going to do our first, this will be our first example that we're going to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply this whole thing to the whole body of our page. So now we're going to go to our notepad. So if you guys want to run back to your desk. So I'm going to change my font. Okay, so I am way at the top. Guys, I'm way at the top. We're going to put that font family styling in the body tag. So I want to spread this over multiple lines now because it's going to get a little complicated. So I'm just going to spread it out like the other one. And that's okay, I can do that. So after background color, I'm going to come inside of here and I'm going to type in that tag. So I'm going to say font-family, colon. And then I'm going to type Courier New, comma, Lucida Console, comma, monospace, semicolon. So that means everything in the web page is going to change. Everything. Not just one thing, everything. So I'm going to try to do this so you can. Yes, that whoever said that was right. Background color yellow's got to have a semicolon after it. So now I'm ready to apply this. And if I hit refresh, everything changes. Everything in the body changed to that font. Everything. So, how many H2 tags do we have in our document? Two or three? Two, maybe three. We got more than one, right? Okay, so now we're going to style H2 in a different font. So this was a big point of confusion in the last hour. I'm going to try to head this off now before it gets too out of control. So the way styling works is